or not really?
Yeah, just hop on, open a tab for your Facebook, and then you can go to the River Certified page and hit share, and then you can share it. And anybody who's watching this, if you want to share it on your Facebook page, that's the way to do it. And I really appreciate that. It kind of helps spread this around. And I suppose at this point in time, I'd do it whether anybody's watching or not, because we're getting into a rhythm. It's having a lot of fun and stuff. But the more people who watch this, the more, I don't know, it just feels neat. It feels cooler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
And as long as you're not camping, we're usually good.
And I need to figure something out with that, because like doing one of these around a campfire would be neat, but I don't think StreamYard's got a mobile app.
Yeah. When I taped them and edited them, I've did some on boats and, out actually fishing, and they turned out cool, but the audio sucked. So we need to figure out something in between.
But you can, if you do it on your phone, the audio wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, you're always fighting the wind out on the water, and, things get lost.
And fish. Sometimes I'm fighting fish on the water. That would be awesome. Like to get
get in a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, Spence. I'm gonna share it out. Okay, is that okay?
Oh yeah, go for it.
All right, buddy.
I was about to just say, Tyler, he does the whole live streaming thing on TikTok and gets like thousands of people watching him. I've done live streams on YouTube, and I've only had one time where I've ever caught a fish on a live stream.
I think in a couple of my videos, there was, when I was doing the on location ones, we caught some fish, but nothing ginormous, nothing that like made the show.
I don't know if the live is unlucky or if I only do live for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe I need to pick better spots when I go live.
But by the time it gets dark, or at least happy hour, the lighting is a struggle versus, and then when you're in the daytime, and let's say you're hitting log jams, that's tough to hold a conversation when you got to position the boat just right. Or
hey, I'm not here to make excuses. I'm here to make results.
I just bringing reality into the conversation.
I just haven't made it happen, and I need to make it happen. So one of these days,
I think a good long drift or something, not bumping, but like drifting or pulling baits. That'd be a good conversation. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh.
I still think the campfire lighting would be cool. Joel said I just need to have Ella call me when I'm live, and then I'd get bit. And
absolutely.
That's
I don't know how many times that plays out.
I don't know. It's to the point that it's just weird.
All right.
We were talking about you, Tyler. That's why I said weird.
Oh yeah, I figured. Perfect timing, man. Perfect. Actually, the audio surprisingly was still going the whole time, even though I went on the screen. I was listening. I said, "Okay, now's the chance."
You said you were going to leave, and I'm like, "Well, you don't have to leave," but I wasn't about to argue with you.
Yeah, we're done. It's toast, man. We're out of here.
So anytime somebody says bullhead, you have to take a drink. So bullhead.
Hold up.
No,
you met Kentucky Larry?
Yeah, hold on. I am drinking out of the Sea Arc koozie in celebration of Tyler Barnes being a Sea Arc Pro staff, and so cheers, bullhead to that.
Bullhead to that. Cheers.
And yes, I did meet.
Tyler's gonna be like, "What you do on the podcast?" We drank.
Yeah, man, we drank a lot.
Yeah. But I met Kentucky Larry. My only disappointment in meeting Kentucky Larry is I didn't get to talk to him longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was everything I thought he'd be. I'm pretty sure
the real man met the myth.
Yes.
Lived up to the myth.
Yeah. He's wearing all camo. Looking sharp.
Nice.
Yeah. My camo game was weak at the Catfish Conference. Next year it won't be. I'll have some camo. I'll have Skip with me. I'm already planning on how that's going to work out.
Not at all.
No, you're right. You're right. Every single dog in person who just doesn't look right to him, he's going to bark at him. So it'll be ongoing. But hey, I'm committed. I'm a committed individual.
You remember that trip? I don't even know where we went, but Woody was about overboard on a woodchuck. It was It was upriver of Des Moines.
Oh, it was the raccoons. They were chirping on the opposite bank, and I woke up to like something scuffling around, and then a splash. And I mean, this is 3 a.m. Woke up, and I'm like, where? I see Skip. Where's Woody? And shine the light, and the current's sweeping him down river.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he just jumped out of the boat.
He's like a 5-pound sniper. He's going.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
It's funny.
Tyler,
what's up, man?
When's the Flat Cat coming?
So it'll be here in April, man. Super
That's
excited.
When I get mine.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about yours, man. What size? What'd you go with?
No, we got to hear you first. You're the guest.
Me? What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I went with is I got the 2272 Flat Cat with the Timber Runner package. And as far as color, man, we went with Bottomland camo. We got the black amped package. I believe we're going with the 150-105 Mercury Jet. So man, like jet drives, man, are super tough to get, man. And I know that you already know this. So super tough to get. You know, and so you know, I'm kind of excited too, man. I've never really had any Mercuries before. It's always been like Suzuki and Yamaha and stuff, but I'm up for Mercury too, man, to give them a shot, see how they are, see how they perform. So I'm super excited about that. And of course, you know, with the Flat Cats, because you ordered one, they got the tunnel hole, so it's the tunnel jet combo. And for me, you know, where I fish primarily locally, man, it's super shallow, man. You know, a lot of rocks, a lot of debris. You know, logs and timber and stuff in the river and stuff. So for me around here, jet drive was the way to go. What else did we get? I think we got the air ride seats. We got Garmin fish finders, Kraken trolling motor, 10-foot power poles. Of course, it comes with the 80-gallon live well built in. Lithium batteries, man, wash down kit. Pretty much, man. If there was an option, I check the box, man. Yeah. So, man, it was like Christmas. It was like, do you want this? I was like, matter of fact, I do. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny is ours are going to look almost identical, except
seriously, yeah.
Same color. Mine's going to be 18-foot though, not a 22. Oh, yeah. Just because I like it's. We have a lot of really crappy boat ramps, so getting an 18-foot boat in the water is a lot easier, and turning it around is a lot easier. So that's why I went with that one, and then I'll have talons instead of power poles.
Yep.
Mine won't have a live well because they won't put a live well on the 18s, which I'm fine with. I'm not going to be tournament fishing out of it anyway. Much. I might drop a cooler in the back I'm doing a Fishing for Freedom event, which it's a veterans event. It's a tournament. You take your vets out pre-fishing for a couple days on the Mississippi, and then you have a tournament on Sunday, and it's awesome. There's like 300 plus veterans that are going on this, and I think there was 150 boats last year, or 200 boats.
Wow. Oh my God.
It's a massive event, and that'd be one if anybody listening's got a boat. Like, they're always looking for boaters. It's out of Quincy, Illinois. If you drive very far, there's a certain mileage where they will cover your hotel and everything like that. Wow. So it's pretty neat, man. But yeah, our boats are going to look identical, except mine's just going to be a little bit shorter.
Did you go with a Mercury too?
No, I got a Suzuki. The Mercuries are a little bit faster, but Suzuki's are the durability is my number one thing, and that's what they're known for. And I got a Suzuki on my boat right now and absolutely love it. They're, like I said, they're not quite as fast, but that's okay.
Man, I tell you, so on the Sea Arc I have now, it's a 2072 FXT. It was actually a prop tunnel, but I tore up after tearing the lower unit off twice. I said, yeah, I'm just gonna slap a jet foot on here and see what happens, man. So man, I'm gonna tell you, you're right, man, with the Suzukis, because man, I have tortured that thing, man. I have put it through the ringer, and if it'll. Dude, I'm telling you, man, they are very tough, man. Very tough. Haven't had ever any issues that wasn't caused by me. You know what I'm saying? Self-inflicted. But I love the Suzukis, man. Yeah, for sure.
I was talking to a commercial fisherman down in Louisiana in November when I was down there for a fishing tournament and media event thingy. And we were just sitting at the bar shooting the shit and having a good time. And we were talking about boats and kind of basically everything we're doing right now. And it's like, what kind of boat do you run? He said, I don't remember the boat, but he said he's got a Suzuki with 10,000 hours on it on the back of that thing. And he's like, you could run this thing through peanut butter and it'd still keep pissing water.
I believe it, man. I'm telling you, I believe that. That's crazy.
You don't even need electric start on something like that. You just twist the top and it's got no compression, so it fires right up.
Right.
Yes.
They're crazy, man. Well, hey, so we got Ryan, the legend. We got Tyler, the legend. Plus state record, North Carolina state record flathead. And you've talked about that a lot. Like every podcast touches on.
How could you not? I mean
I'd probably introduce myself as that. Like, hi, I'm Spencer Bauer, state record holder.
Nice that's right. It's like your name is now this long. Every time you sign something, it's like it keeps going.
Every time I catch a 25-pounder, I tell everybody I know.
That's right.
You know how on the W-2s you got to put like junior, senior. I wouldn't put either. I'd put state record flathead holder.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
But all right, so you've talked about that a lot. So I mean, I've heard about it. I mean, that's the gist of it. We can dive into the story if it makes sense, but I want to know like the after stuff, like what's going through your head. So you hook this fish, you fight this fish, you're freaking out, you get it in the boat, and what runs through your mind immediately?
Well, so kind of to backpedal just a little bit, I was on the phone, right? So like, I'm out there fishing by myself, first of all. So it's right after midnight. And I'm talking to my buddies, whoever's willing to stay awake with me, by myself out there. I'm just hanging out. What sucker can I call tonight and hang out with me all night while I'm fishing? So
I'll give you my number. I'm in.
Yeah, that's it. What's all night, man? So my buddy Jacob, man, I was talking on the phone with him, just pulled up to the spot, throwed out. And I had some massive baits out, man. Some really big shell crackers, some really, just some phenomenal baits that night. It was fantastic day of bait fishing. And, so I'm sitting there and I'm on the phone and we're sitting here messing around, hanging out or whatever, 15 minutes in, after I throw it out, I get a hard thump on the rod and it starts, them flatheads, they'll kind of, that initial thump and then it'll kind of slow go. Sometimes they're sporadic and just roll with it. But this one was the traditional big fish thump, slow pull down. So I said, Jacob, I said, man, that was that big shell cracker, man. I said, let me go get this pole and, let me see if I can get them in and I'll call you right back. So anyway, long story short, fought the fish, got them right into the boat, man, looked at the fish, called him back immediately and was like, hey, man. He was like, yeah. I said, man, I caught that fish. He said, he's like, yeah.
Can't get him in the boat.
Yeah, but he's like, how big is he? I'm like, man, and so we're in a big fish tournament too. Like Easy Bait and Tackle here in Goldsboro has a 2-month long fishing event. It's pretty much biggest fish wins right out of 2 months for catfish. So anyway, so I'm in this tournament and I'm looking at this fish, man, and I tell him, I said, man. I said, I don't want to sound dumb. I said, I really don't. I said, man, this is a big fish, bro. I'm going to say 65 pounds. And he's like, 65? I said, no, maybe not. And I'm like, no, man. No, he is, but I'm telling you, he's big. So I'm tripping out. So it was funny because I finally, got the fish into the net and got my scales. I always carry like those orange crane scales that you can get off of Amazon or whatever, Anyway, so I wait, I put the fish in the net and I knew the net weighed about 2.5 pounds. And so I said, hold on, Jake, I'm going to put you down right quick and I'm going to weigh this fish, right? So I weigh the fish, I pick it up, and I'm looking at it and I bust out laughing. I put him back down and it's like 82.9. He said, how much was it? I said, it's 82.9. And he starts laughing. I was like, yeah, man, something ain't right. And I looked at my scale and I'm like, okay, it's in pounds now. It ain't in it. It ain't in the it ain't in the KG. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Hold up. So when you landed the fish, the thought of it being a state record never even crossed your mind.
Yep, no, not at all, man. Because my biggest fish prior to that, as far as flathead, was 57. But I knew he was bigger than that. But it's been a little while since I caught the 57 too. But just looking at him, man, I'm like, this thing is like some kind of dinosaur thing, man. It's like, it don't even look normal. So anyway, so when I weighed a fish, yada yada, 82.9, I set it down. I'm laughing, but really, I'm like, okay.
Holy.
Okay. So I take what I do is I turn the scales off, and I turn them back on. And I make sure they're zeroed, and I weigh it again. I saw Jake. I'm gonna hit it again, and it was 82.1. And I started doing some math. I said, okay, 2.5. See, the prior state record by Brian Newberger was 78 pounds. He had it for 15 years. Yeah. I only had it by 14 ounces. Right. Only had it by so. I've never had such a feeling of, dude, like I'm tripping. Like, okay, you're talking about what happened after. Well, everything. So
how far from the ramp were you?
So from the boat ramp, it was about a 15-minute ride on the water, but to Easy Bait and Tackle, it was over an hour truck ride.
Okay.
So okay, at this time I'm like planning, right? I'm planning. I'm like, okay, how can I do this? I got a fish that could be a state record. What do I do? How do I keep it alive? Who do I call? What's the plan? So I told Jacob, I said, look, man, I don't know where you're at or what you're doing, but I need your help. Look, go to Easy Bait and Tackle, fill up. They got a big 300-gallon live well there. I said, look, I need you to dump all the water out. I said, I need you to fill it back up. I said, I need you to take the better bait they got, put X amount in there and like 3 bags of ice. I said, take your pumps and everything else. I said, make a whirlpool. I said, really, really, really soup that water up for this fish, man. I said, because I might have the state record. And even if I don't, it needs to be good. So,
so is that tank there just for that?
Yeah, for the tournament. However, you can use it at any time. It's outside of the store in the front. You can go up there at any time of night and use it. They got certified scales right beside it.
That's sweet.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it's super convenient, man, for us. It really, really is. So no matter what you got, if it's not a catfish, it could be a carp or a bass or something. You go up there anytime and weigh your fish.
Sorry.
So it's like super, super convenient. So let's fast forward to get there. By this time, I've called a buddy of mine. He has called everybody, said, go to Easy Bait. Tyler's caught the state record, or we think he's caught the state record, yada, yada. We get there, and I pull up. Man, dude, my adrenaline was going so hard. I was almost like throwing up on the way. Like, I finally said, look, I just got to breathe. I'm panicking. Because like a couple things.
You've been fishing for that fish your whole damn life. I'd be in the same freaking boat if I was there.
Dude, it was the most craziest feeling ever. And I'm driving. And I've got so many things in my head, and I'm tripping, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, man, just the longest ride of my life. And so we finally get there, and there's like 20-something people there. And I'm like, okay, Tyler, if this is not close or if I've messed up, I'm about to be a laughing stock. Son, this is not going to be good. So anyway, we get there. And I've got the footage. I don't know if I've ever even really posted the whole video, but I got the video, the original footage of soon as I pulled in from opening the live well, the initial time, taking the fish out and taking it to the scales and then hitting the scales for the first time. I've posted a few like Facebook reels and stuff of it actually on the scales, but I've got the whole beginning to end. But man, when it hit the scales, dude, and it hit 78.9, man, I started crying. Like, I started yelling. Everybody was yelling, and holy crap, this is amazing. And, man, it was just the most unbelievable experience ever, man. And then we put the fish right in the water, man, and it was good, super healthy. It was like he was better off in that tank than he was in that river. I know that.
That better bait's legit, man.
Yeah, he got a little rush himself. He was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's right. This is great.
Dude, I couldn't imagine. Like, I'm happy for you just hearing you say that story. Like, and that's the other cool part is like you were ready to do that. Whether you're like nobody's ever planned to catch a state record, but like you had the live well, you had the numbers, the resources, and you took advantage of all of that, and you certified a state record monster, and then released it happy as can be back into the river.
Yep,
man,
absolutely. Awesome. Well, and see, that was a big thing, man, because man, the catfish world can be brutal, man. You know, we can be brutal people sometimes, man. So imagine if Tyler would have caught the state record, but it died. Like, you know, and man, you know, and what I tell people, you know, is always be prepared for something like that to happen, because it can happen to anybody at any time, at any given second. But, you know, man, when you've got a fish of that caliber, man, a lot of us are not ready to keep a fish like that alive, man.
Hell no.
And
on a kayak trip, you know, 3 miles away from the closest bank.
Yeah. We're just going to take a picture and let them go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. We'll tell the story. I'm like, bro, I'm either about to be hero or zero, no matter what, if I broke it or not. If he's dead, I'm toast, okay? Okay,
I mean, so it's fishing though, you know, you do the best you can to take care of the fish, but there's things that happen. Like I caught a fish Monday, and it was like a 10, 12 pounder blue cat, and it came out of 20 feet of water. I hold it up for the camera, put it back in the water, and just let go of it, not thinking anything of it. It was out of the water for 45 seconds.
Yep.
And it had a hard time swimming away.
Yep.
Like I was just about ready to go chase it down, and then it finally swum under, but that's for no reason. It was out of the water 45 seconds.
Yeah, and I've been fishing tournaments, and I'm guilty too. You know, sometimes no matter what you do, you know, a lot of times, man, these fish fight till like they're not trying to get captured. You know what I'm saying? They'll exhaust all efforts to not get caught. Some of them not so bad, but some of them, man, they'll fight you and fight you and fight you. And sometimes, man, you catch them by the time you do your weighing or whatever you do, pictures or whatever, culling out a fish or whatever case. Sometimes they don't make it, man. So I've actually had a couple times, not many, but I've, you know, had him in the live well, thought he was good, open up live well, check on him periodically, and there he is. He's toast. Like he's like done. He tapped out, man. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it.
I mean, I feel that way when I run 3 blocks, so I get
it. yeah, that's it.
All right, so there's a question in the comments that I like a lot because it's kind of juicy and gets you thinking. One was, what time is this? We're doing these every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Different guests every week, but same basic principle, just shooting the shit about fishing. But the question that I found really interesting was, for a state record standpoint, should trot lines and rod and reel be in the same? Like, should trot lines count the same as rod and reel fishing? Set lines, all that stuff.
Iowa they do.
Right.
It's caught fish. Yeah. Do I think it should be the same? No, but I mean, if you catch a state record on a trot line that's bigger than the rod and reel record, chances a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's rod and reel. Either way.
I mean, the fact that people will preface the fish they catch. Like my biggest catfish is 50 pounds, caught it on a rod and reel. And that's a very common thing for people to say. Like, that's just evidence that suggests that not that rod or trot lines and set lines don't require some kind of talent, because you have to understand the fish, but it's not the same as rod and reel. And I think they should be in different categories myself. I think they should both be recognized, but I think they should be in different categories. I guess I'm solidly riding the fence on that one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, man. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, as far as like a record standpoint, I mean, it is what it is, but, you know, it really is what it is. But, you know, a lot of times, man, you know, and over the years, I've talked to a lot of guys that do like limb lines and jug lines and stuff like that. And that's cool, man. They have a blast, man. But if I can, you know, talk to them or like encourage somebody through content or real life, meet them at the boat ramp or whatever, just to give it a shot, rod and reel, man. A lot of times, man, you'll convert over to, like, you know, rod and reel fishing for those fish, man. Because to me, I think it definitely is two absolutely separate things. I mean, my opinion, you know, that's just me. But, you know, if I can encourage somebody to go out there and you know, do it from rod and reel, you know, that's what I would do. And you know, when I was younger, man, I did some limb lines and stuff too. Like, a common thing for me when I was young, I did bank fishing, man, because I didn't have to. But this was before, you know,
I still fish.
yeah, well, the bank fish, yeah, no, and bank fishing is great, you know, and like when I was growing up, catfishing was very simple, man. But, you know, catfishing has really taken a turn. You know, it's really, you know, growing as a sport dramatically, especially over the last 3 or 4 years. But if you rewind, man, you know, fishing from the bank is what I used to do. Started with my 14-foot John boat with a 6 horsepower Evinrude. And and what I would do is just take the boat to get to a sandbar, to have my little campfire, to have my 4 or 5 rods out. But what I would also do with some buddies is, okay, guys, you know, we're gonna have our campfire here, and we're gonna hang out, and we're gonna have our rods here, but let's go around this bend with the boat and set like 4 or 5 lines out or something, like just like limb lines or whatever. And then if we're not catching nothing here, that'll at least give us something to do. So I've done it, man, and it's fun, but man, the heart is absolutely rod and reel, finding the fish, really learning them, and trying to, you know, it's rewarding, man, when you got, you know, your rods out and you're throwing brim this big right here, and you're like, I'm about to pull a fish out of that stick over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool. But to each his own. If somebody finds enjoyment out of it, bro, I don't care what they're doing. You know, I'm happy for you, dude. I'm happy for you. I understand.
Dude, running Diddy sticks is a blast. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
No, it is, and it doesn't take the patience that rod and reel takes.
Sure.
Be consistently good at catching 30+ pound flathead at rod and reel takes a lot of freaking time.
It does.
Or you got to be in an area where a lot of 30+ pounders live.
I mean, even in places that have a lot of 30-pound flatheads, they're still not an easy fish to target. But as far as the set lines go, a lot of it's why are you out there? Whenever we went and ran Diddy poles and stuff like that, I haven't done it in a few years, probably because I don't party like I used to party. Like, we'd go out and set a bunch of Diddy poles and build a big bonfire on a sandbar and just
make a night of it.
Yeah, make a night of it. Then you'd go, you know, you'd take turns, like, okay, we can fit 3 in the boat, so these 3 guys are going this round, these 3 guys go this round, and it's just a good time. But rod and reeling, it feels more like hunting than it does fishing in a lot of ways, and you're not partying in a bow stance, and it kind of works out the same with flathead fishing too. But I digress. Actually, I digress to state that I think they should be separate as far as records go. I know Texas does that. They have the rod and reel records, and then they have alternative tackle records, which, if you want to talk about a big freaking fish, I think the Texas alternative tackle flathead is like 117 pounds or something like that.
That's crazy.
Right?
That is crazy. I couldn't imagine.
Well, think about this. So 50-pound flathead's huge. You got to slap a 29-pounder basically to the 50-pounder to equal the fish that you caught. Then you take the fish that you caught, and you got
to add another 50 to it.
Exactly.
What? My brain doesn't go there, man. It doesn't really make sense. Like, I don't know.
Just imagine fighting that fish and lifting up the top and looking down into the water, seeing the head that is as wide as a manhole cover popping up out of the freaking water.
It'd be bigger than my shoulders.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. Like,
I'd be kind of scared, honestly. I'd be like, look, man, we're just going to let this guy go, man.
We always judge him by 2 hands in the mouth. That's like a 5-hand mouth.
Right.
I couldn't imagine.
That reminds me, too. So I've heard through the grapevine, Tyler, just hearsay that you're you use like ridiculous braid when you're fishing.
Yep. Yeah, that's me, man. Yeah. So
I'm not outfitted for a 120 pounder. Maybe. I mean, I'd have to get a little lucky.
It doesn't get tangled. You're probably good.
Well,
that's a big ask.
So yeah, I do use some crazy braided line, man. I do, and I tell you, you know, I always get these weird looks if I do a seminar or something. Like I immediately have to explain why I'm using it, like because I feel like everybody's like, this guy's he's a loser or something, you know. So I'm like, I got to defend myself. So like,
how do you find 300 yards of rope?
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you know, for me, man, you know, coming from a couple different angles, one from a tournament standpoint, you know, when I'm using 100, so I use 150-pound braid. If anybody's like, what's he actually using? I'm using 150 pound, and I've actually thought about backing it back down to 120. But then I'm like, well, Tyler, if you use 120, you might well go and do the 150. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, what's the difference?
What's the difference? So, but where my mind is with that is I do it for actually a couple reasons. So, reason number one, I use 100-pound leader line, right? So, if I'm a fan of crimps too. Now I may not crimp every single time, but I'm a huge fan of using a snail knot with the hook and with the barrel swivel, a crimp. Theoretically, right? So if you've got, and I'm fishing a lot of debris, fishing a lot of structure, fishing a lot of things like that, heavy cover, things like that. So I'm flathead fishing, right? A lot of time, not all the time, but a lot of times. And you know, a lot of times I'll use a sinker slider. Well, the way for me is if I throw into some timber, okay, say I get hung up and it's on the hook. If I pull, it will break at the crimp at 100 pounds of pressure, and then I'll get my weight back every time. That is true. So that happens.
Or you bring the whole log jam in.
Right. Yeah, or I will rotate the earth. What something's gonna happen. So you know, so I'll get my weight back. But another way I look at it too is I'm you know, I love tournament fishing too, and I don't have one of those stories. I ain't gonna say I don't. That sounds kind of bad. I mean, Thor do, but I don't often have one of those stories. To man, I had a big one on and he broke me off. Because he ain't broke me off. I'm going to tell you that. You know, he ain't broke me off.
Jawbones, but never had one break.
Yeah, you know, I pulled his tail through his mouth, but he didn't break my line. You know what I mean? So that's a way to look at it too. And a third standpoint is, are you willing to use 100-pound braid? And if you are, look at the diameter difference between 100 and 150. You might as well get that extra security because it ain't going to throw no different. It ain't going to reel in really no different. You're not going to lose. Why not go ahead, secure the deal, go ahead and don't even have to worry. But you already know tackle's not an issue. You're good. That's not going to be a reason you lost a fish. You're good. You just feel better. So for me, I know if I'm throwing a big shell cracker, if I'm throwing a bass, or if I'm throwing something crazy, or if a 100-pounder hits, he may flatten that rod and peel drag like crazy, but he's not going to break my line. So I just feel very, very, very confident out there on the water using that kind of gear. So that's just my little standpoints on it right there. So
I get it.
You're getting a snag.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take you to pop the line or?
Yeah, so no. So have y'all seen like the snag sticks, like Ripping Lips has them?
I made my own.
You made one, and people use something to stick or something. I used to actually wrap my braid around my fishing reel, and that was, man, I messed up all kind of stuff. Don't do that, man. Don't never.
Yeah,
that's terrible. You made 150-pound just wrapped around and it's squeezing and busting all your stuff. No, don't do that.
But it pops off.
So the snag stick, man, you know, by the time I, you know, reel down and get it tight and wrap around that stick and pull, I mean, it's still tough. But like I said, you're not trying to break 150. You're only really trying to break 100 because then you'll bust that crimp or something. The hook will cut or something will happen. Something will straighten out. But you're not going to break the braid, but you'll pop that crimp and get your weight back, retie, and you're good to go. Yep.
I mean, it's not really any different. I'm thinking of like going extra heavy. like you're fishing in the junk, and it's no different than a bass dude tossing a frog in like on top of mats, throwing 65-pound braid.
100%.
Yeah.
Or bass. Yeah.
Well, and then so to add to what you're saying, the braid isn't quite as abrasion resistant as mono, but it's closer than people like to think. The biggest difference is the diameter. So,
absolutely. Braid is tough, man.
That's why I use 80, and I used 100 for a while, but I went down to 80, and I haven't had any real problems. When I'm flathead fishing, I'm typically running 80-pound braid with 60-pound mono leader. And same premise as what you're doing with the 150 and the 100, just downsized a little bit. And I mean, you're the man who catches state records, so it's hard to argue with the results.
Now, just a lucky dude, man. But but abrasion resistance.
No, hold on. I mean, how many people have hooked a fish like that with 65 or 80-pound braid, and then it's like, well, I hooked this giant and never got him in.
100%.
Like, you took a gun to a gunfight,
100%. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, I ain't playing. Like I said, I don't like those stories, man. A fish broke off or whatever, or he was, man, I can't tell you how many times you get to the weigh in and this fella walks over and says, Tyler, I had him. Well, man, what happened? He hit it and he just started peeling, drag, and pow! Did you have a 150? No. Nope, sure didn't. Okay, all right, well, that's cool. I'm sorry to hear that. It's like, oh, God.
That I'm just always sounds like overkill until it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one day where I was blue cat fishing on one of the big rivers, and I was using 60-pound leader and had a big fish hit it so hard it snapped the leader and the rod holder, and I'm just like, please, God, give me one more chance. One more chance. I'll back the drags off.
Let me interrupt. He sends me this text message while I'm at work, and I could hear him cry through text.
It was somewhere between
and it 30 broke and his heart that pounds. Much. Yeah.
That is crazy.
All right, send me your story.
So fast forward 2 hours later, and the same damn thing happens.
Oh man.
Like, you won't effing believe what just happened.
Dude, you should see the video. The rod bends to the reel and then just snaps right back up.
This is the worst feeling in the world, man.
It was gross. I would never blue catfish with 60 again. Switched to 80 for the blues and haven't really had a problem since. But if I do, then I might be calling you up and be like, what kind of braid do you use, Tyler?
What's your preferred 100,000-pound braid?
Hey, listen, man. Listen, and the braided line. So, in my opinion, as far as braid goes, man, I am the best braid for me. I'm a huge fan of Daiwa J braid, right? Smooth, it's clean, it's nice, it's expensive. So, man, for over the years, I've just been using Hercules braid off of Amazon, bro. Like, it's the stuff. It's good. Like, it might not be as smooth or have that waxy coating and it might fade, but I don't care. I save like $200 right now.
Yeah. No, I've been using the reaction tackle stuff, which is probably the same thing with a different label on it.
Yep.
But I've also been, like, Mike has started making his own braid, and I've been playing around with that. And I will say, client reeled in a 71-pounder last week on it. It was just fine. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I haven't had anything to complain about yet. And if there was, I would be sure to let Micah hear all about it.
That's right.
It would be very public.
Tyler, you got, how many boats you got? I know you got 2.
Yep. So I have a Sea Arc Dynasty 2.0, and I still have my original boat. It's a 2018 2072 jet tunnel. And then the third boat will be the, of course, the flat cap. But I think I'm going to sell my jet drive that I have now. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to let it go.
What'd be the point of keeping it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because I'll never really, the reason I would like to keep it is just because I did catch the state record out of it. But other than that, I got to let it go. You know what I mean? So
it's got a pretty big wall to hang that up on.
That's true.
Yeah. I'll just have it in this shop here, man. That'd be great. Well, so yeah, I'm gonna probably sell it, man, and like you said, no reason to keep it. Don't need 3 boats. Don't even need 2 boats, really. But I'll probably let it go. Yeah, I think so.
Well, I asked you that question. I ask you this question because I really love the idea of getting like a 1652 or 1660 jet for places that have like garbage, like really trash boat ramps or no boat ramp at all, and real skinny stuff. Yep. How do you store your boats? Because that's my big hang up is like I don't have room.
Yep. So I actually got a 30 by 40 shop for the Dynasty, and with the flat cat. So and on my other shop, I have a like a lean-to off of it, and that's where I keep the jet drive. However, it's already pretty much not long enough, and with the flat cap, it has the power poles, so it's too high. So now I'm probably gonna have to get like a carport or something. I'm running out of room, man. I'm running out of room. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So, but I really try to keep my boats or something under at least something, a shelter, in a building, something, because man, dude, leaving them out in the sun and stuff, man. I can't. It is hard on the boats. It's snowing, it's sleeting, everything's freezing. It's just it really is tough on the boats, man. Leaving them out there in the yard. But man, I did it for years, man. So I mean, until I didn't have to. But it's hard. Weather will, and everybody says, well, Tyler, they're made for water. Yeah, but man, you leave it out there in the sun long enough, and let me know how it goes.
And freezing water is a lot different than liquid water.
It is. It is, man. Sleeting and icing all of your electronics, all that, man. It puts puts a lot of wear and tear on your stuff, man. It does. It really does.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that a lot. It'd be cool to have a boat like that for a lot of the reasons I just said, but it'd be like your gas mileage would be better if you wanted to haul it a long ways, and then a boat like that, if you beach it, you're not royally screwed if you're by yourself. And then the kayak's sweet, don't get me wrong, but there's not enough room on the kayak for Skip. So if I want to take Skip, that would be a solution.
That's right.
You just need a backpack.
Yeah. I got a backpack for him. But keeping him in it's the problem. He just hates being stuck in the thing. Like I tried to take him for a bike ride one time, and that was not good. So Tyler, what's your most memorable flathead? I'm sure is your state record, but what would be the next most? Or maybe it isn't the state record. Maybe there's one even more memorable than that.
Yeah. So the most memorable fish, second to the flathead, is all right. So this same exact tournament that Easy Bait and Tackle holds, like I said, it's 2 months long, and I'm something people may not know. Like, dude, I am insanely competitive, and that's like one of my diseases I have or something. Like, I don't like to lose, man. I really don't, and if I do, I'm okay with it. But I need to know why and how.
And sound okay with it, Tyler?
Dude, no, I'm not okay. But like, man,
you're talking to a couple of collegiate wrestlers, man.
Right. So yeah, we don't like to lose, man. And like, I'm that guy that when I started tournament fishing, and if I didn't win or like somebody kept beating me or whoever, I was gonna find out why. And like, how can I be better? Everybody can be beat, kind of thing. So like, I had like notebooks, dude, full of notes. And after every time I'd go fishing, after every time we have a tournament, I'm writing down what I did, what was the water temp, moon, pressure, water level, everything. I'm writing stuff about me, and there's a lot of stuff about a lot of people in them notes that they don't know about. So if this dude's winning, if this dude won, where did he fish? Okay, blah, 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 yada, yada. I'm learning. And then you learn the movements of the fish and the patterns and, just all kinds of things, man. It's really helped me over the years, but I don't do it anymore. But as far as the most, like, rememberable fish in this 2 month long tournament, I fished and fished and fished and fished. And at this time, I was in third place. And typically, to give you an idea, there's like 60 fishermen. And so the last 2 days of the tournament, I took off of work. I said, okay, I'm going 2 days in a row. I'm gonna give it all I got, and I'm fishing. So the first night I fished, I stayed up all night and I fished and I fished and I fished nothing. Man, I'm exhausted. Come back, I catch all my brim again. I'm catching all my brim. I'm like ghost town. Like I'm exhausted. So I wake up after my nap, hit the river again, fished all. I said, you know what? There's one spot that I have in my mind that I've been looking for. I don't even know what it looks like. I said, I've never been here. I put my boat in, went 20 miles away, sat in this area, and never moved the entire time from sundown. I caught fish after fish that night. Storm started raining and storming. I said, man, I'm catching like 30-pound fish, and I'm like, man, I said, okay, well, sun's coming up. I'm looking for that morning bite, and I'm like, okay, well, at 7 o'clock, I'm going to reel in. And I said, after this, I said, this is it. I said, I'm going to give it till 7, and I'll just have to be okay with third. So I'm sitting there on my phone, just hanging out, watching the time, because I said, I'm going to give it till 7. And at 6:50, that corner rod, dude, it just takes off and zzz, 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 and whoa, what's going on? So I go to the rod, and I'm fighting this fish, and it's staying down. I'm like, dude, holy crap. I'm panicking. It, caught me off guard, and I'm fighting this fish, and it's taking runs. And I'm like, dude, this thing is huge. I'm like, okay, calm down. Anyway, finally end up netting the fish, and it was a 68-pound blue catfish. Well, for our rivers, that's still a massive blue. Like, there's been some 60s caught now, but back then, that was like 6 years ago. You didn't if you caught 30-pound fish, dude, that was a trophy fish. So to catch a 68-pound fish on the last day of the tournament that morning and win, one of the biggest victories I ever had.
You can't draw it up any better than that.
Dude, it was amazing. Man, you talk about people was talking about me, man. That's how he cheated, yada, yada, yada. But, man, the polygraph don't lie, right?
That's my only hang up with tournament fishing, man, is like you get your ass beat and you suck, or you win and you're a cheater. It seems like that's what you're running into.
Yeah, but you're a cheater with a little more money.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's okay. You call me whatever you like to, man. That's okay. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Do you have a sports background, Tyler?
No, man. The only thing that I do is fish. That's what I've done since I was 12. Fish. That's it. Do some surf fishing and stuff. Dad passed away when I was 18. Took off even harder, and that's what I've always done. I don't play any sports. I don't watch sports. I don't even really watch TV, man. All I do is fish.
You'd probably be a world-class chess player.
Yeah, world-class chess. Yeah, that's my secret. That's my secret talent.
Well, I had to ask because you said you're competitive. So, what was your competitive outlet when you were younger? Was it fishing tournaments too, or you?
Yeah, the competitive side of me really woke up whenever I started tournament catfishing.
I got
so my dad, he always did tournaments and stuff too, as far as surf fishing for red drum and things like that. But he was big into racing race cars. So he was super competitive into that. So that was his thing, was race cars. But he didn't like to lose, and I got that disease too, and I don't like to lose. But that don't like to lose thing, it used to be consuming
well, nobody who's good ever feels any different. I mean, it's just the side effect of being good is you have to have a competitive drive, and I'll argue that one.
Yeah, if not, somebody's going to get an advantage over you, and that's unacceptable.
Yeah,
it does. And like I said, I will say that it's died down quite a bit. I still don't like to lose. I still like when I fish. If I'm in a try, I'm trying to win like everybody else. But it doesn't get to me like it used to, man. I tell you, it don't. I've kind of had my little 6-year phase there, 7-year, 8-year, whatever you want. And it's still there, but it just ain't. I feel like it's a different era. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's different.
Well, there's something to be saying about being proven. You've hit those benchmarks that you've set. You knocked them out of the water. And now anybody can say whatever the hell they want about you because facts are facts.
You want to play some ping pong?
Man, no, I ain't playing with you, man. Shoot, no.
He's got a 12-foot wingspan. He doesn't even have to move.
Yeah, that's right. He just stand in one spot and just da. And I'm running.
I'm Matumbo, man. But I have these quick, short little legs, you know, just one way or the other.
Looks like Scooby-Doo when he runs.
Exactly. Now, last time I ran my mouth about ping pong, I ran my mouth to a guy who kind of hustled me a little bit. He's like, oh, you know, just going with it. And then we played and he smacked me pretty good. Yeah, it was one of those.
That's it. That's so funny.
No, that's one of the reasons I kind of started to get into tournaments a little bit. I was adverse to them, honestly, as much for the money side of things, because I was like, $150 for an entry fee, that's 3 tanks of gas, and I can go fish somewhere really, really cool. But now that I've been fortunate to turn fishing into a profession, kind of.
You're still eating, so
I'm still eating. Yeah, I haven't lost too much weight, but yeah, that's why you see me eat so much fish.
Fish are bologna, and I like fish better.
The whole competitive side of things, like I'm pretty competitive, and I've really enjoyed working towards something. Like always working towards getting better at fishing, but now it's more tunnel vision in that way. It's more direct. It's a straighter line. It's obvious. Like you win or you don't. You know, it's not like you can win and you didn't catch them, so you're going to try to catch them next time. It's okay. I got last place, so we need to turn this around.
Right. 150 boats. I am the bottom.
I mean, I had one 2 years ago where I got 50th out of 53rd. That was goddamn embarrassing. And I invested a lot of time. And I'm not
that situation. Yeah.
I don't like to brag, but this is what happened was I went from 50th out of 53rd, and then Mike and I got 6th last year. So that was like one of the most rewarding. I'm not bragging. I just want to share that.
Out of 7.
Out of 7.
Yeah, out of 7.
Out of 7 that year, though. Yeah. We didn't tell the full story. You know
so from a percentage standpoint, I improved.
Yeah. That is so funny, man. That is so. Yeah, I remember you making that post a short day. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was neat. Well, you got any big? What's your big tournaments this year? Are you doing mega bucks? You do anything crazy like that?
You know, so the big tournament was going to be the Sea Arc Invitational until I found out now I got to run the thing. So I'm like, what? what a scam. Well, not running it, but like as a pro staff, like the pro staff can't fish it no more. So I have to be there to help, you know, like, I don't know, really, I've never done it. I guess like park boats or you know, help with the captain's meeting or something. I really don't know.
Get Alex.
It's a good time. It's fun.
Yeah. But I tell you, man, I fished it last year, and I will say that, you know, me, David Campbell, Greg Blue, we took off, man, and fished for the whole week, and I thoroughly enjoyed that, man. That, you know, it was so much fun just going with your buddies and fishing and learning new bodies of water and tactics, and that is the life to live right there, man. I'm telling you. And then fished this tournament, and it was so well organized. And I'm not just saying this because I'm with Sea Arc, but it was legitimately the best, well-organized, most professional tournament I have ever attended. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of other great run events like the Mississippi River Monsters. I've never fished it, but that tournament, those guys take a lot of pride in what they do. And like I said, it was spot on. It was a good run tournament.
I'll add to that I wouldn't know any better because the most of the tournaments I fished have been ran by Alex Nagy, and he is like the man when it comes to running tournaments. Like
and everything through, you know, he's got years of being the man.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little better, you know.
Well, I mean, I'll brag on the guy a little bit. He's just got a lot of really good personal attributes in that he holds true to. Like, he doesn't bend any rules for nobody. He would DQ his mom and not blink an eye. Like,
for grounding me in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody gets treated the exact same, but his like attention to detail is really impressive, and everything just goes so smooth. And it's not like he does every single tournament the same way. He ran that one down, and I wasn't at this one. I just heard about it, so it might not have ran smooth, but they made it work where it was in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They weighed in the fish that were caught in Arkansas or Oklahoma, brought them to the Fort Smith. There was a festival, weighed them in front of a bunch of different people, and then got the permits to haul them back to wherever they were caught and return to the body of water where they were caught. So, like, he doesn't have to do that.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, and that's just one time or one of the many things he's done very similar to that. Like, it's pretty impressive.
Well, he's got so many irons in the fire. You know, his tournament series is a small blip on his personal radar.
Right. Well,
and that's the crazy part of it.
It's his baby, but yeah, you're right. He's got a million different things going on, and he does a good job of running all of them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's the thing, being over here in, Eastern North Carolina, man, we don't really have a whole lot of giant tournaments. The biggest thing around here is the King of the James. My buddy Trey Thorpe runs that. He does a fantastic job at it. It's really good. It is professional. And
the Ice Bowl.
And of course the Ice Bowl. Yeah, of course the Ice Bowl. But other than those two, that's all that really immediately comes to mind. There's a few in South Carolina, but the very big events they all seem to be out west, man. They really do.
Well, if you think about it, you have Mega Bucks is the biggest money one.
Absolutely.
You got the Sea Arc invite, you got Winter Blues, and then what else is there?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you're right if you look at it like that. Yeah, no, and then like I said, Alex Nagy, his trail, Twisted Cat. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess it's all kind of spread around a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like huge catfish consistently weight wise, you got like Louisiana. You got North Carolina puts up pretty much every tournament. They got some good fish.
Oh yeah.
You got great flatheads, and everybody I talk to from North Carolina does not appreciate the quality of flathead fisheries you have out there. They are.
No. Quit sleeping on it, damn it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. We're very blessed for the flatheads, man. I mean, between the Noose, the Cape Fear, and the Tar River, I'd put it up against anybody, especially Tar River, man. I don't think you're gonna outbeat the Tar River. Just my opinion. I mean, the Noose is. Obviously, that's where the record come from, and it's had more flatheads in it for more years than the Tar. But it's the Tar River, man. See the competition between, like the Noose and the Cape Fear. We have blues, we have channels, and flatheads. In the Tar River, you have very little channels, very little blues. But when you catch a blue, he's going to be a big one every time. Mm-hmm. But the flatheads there, man, is crazy, man. It is it's almost too easy. Just gonna be honest.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it really. So I predict the state record will be broken out at a Tar probably within the next 5 years. Yeah.
Well, I plan on being there within the next 5 years. So we'll see.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Ryan will just show up, break the record, be like, "Well, I won this game." So
like the walk-off home run, I'll just throw my rod in the water.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is so funny.
You have to take your shoes off at the boat ramp like it's your last wrestling match.
Yeah, that's right.
Kick the Crocs into the current.
Nah, man, like it's cool that you have those. You don't have the giant blues, and that seems to be what a lot of people get wrapped up in. Like you have obviously big blues. You caught that 68, and I'm sure other giants out of there over in that area too. But I mean, the flathead, I feel like the flathead is the most appreciated / unappreciated because when you hang a fish on a scale, a monster flathead is 50 pounds. You hang a 50-pound blue on the scale, it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, a 50-pound blue. And still, see, however, like a 50-pound blue out of like the Noose, Cape Fear, Tar, man, that's a big fish, bro. Like that, you still you're still pretty pumped up about that. But see, we also have the Roanoke River, which is home to the state record for the blue catfish, which is right over. I mean, so I guess we're very blessed over here. I'm just gonna be straight up. We got the James River 2 hours away.
He's also a realtor.
We got Curl
so if you'd like to buy a house.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? We into real estate now. You know, if you're into catfishing, man, we got it all. Whatever you need, we got it. Now,
40-pound channels.
yeah. So we're very blessed over here, man. It really is, and that's why I like to encourage a lot of people to get into catfishing, man, especially in the local area, because you don't know what we got.
Well, TA's tired of the tournament talk, and he wants to hear about tactics and techniques. And I actually have a question that feeds right into that. I noticed you and Cody Kennedy, and then a handful of other people I've seen on videos and whatnot, you hook your baits behind the head.
Yeah.
Between the head and the dorsal fin. You don't hook them through the lips. Why?
Yeah, man, I've never really hooked them through the lips, man. You know, I've always kind of hooked them in the head at an angle. And the primary reason that I've always done that is because, you know, how many, and hooking it through the lips, you know, it may be one way. I feel like that kind of, you know, especially throwing like a pound bait, you know, through the lips, it might kind of, you know, sometimes maybe even just throw the fish off. But a lot of times, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I have a lot. How many times have you been fishing and a fish hits and he grabs and he starts running and, you know, he's folding the rod, peeling drag, whatever you want to call it. And then, man, he comes off, you know, and you start reeling them in, and you look at the brim, and the hook is turned back into the brim somehow and has caught, you know, covered up the hook where it couldn't ever hook the fish. Does that ever happen to y'all?
Oh, it has. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I started, when I hook them through the tail, between the tail and the dorsal fin, I hook them at an angle, like what you're talking about. When I hook them through the lips, I rarely have that bait hook go back through the bait.
Okay. I've had them ripped off where they didn't get the hook and just took the bait, but, you know, more times than not, that's a smaller fish anyway. But
that, I would probably say that's the primary reason, is I'll just take that bait and then I'll come through, you know, right in front of the dorsal fin and at a really sharp angle. And that, the way it is, it just prevents that hook from laying over to prevent that from happening. But really, that's pretty much it, man. You know, but I've got some buddies that'll hook them through the tail. They do phenomenal. You know, I guess with something like that, and it's what I tell anybody is, do what makes you feel the most confident. You know what I mean? Because, like, just because Tyler does it or this guy over here does it doesn't mean that's what makes you feel good. It goes back to the 150-pound braid. You know, if you go fishing and you're not confident out there on the water, man, you ain't gonna do good. No how. You need to people need to figure out, you know, what exactly fits them. You know, what makes them feel good. So for me, hooking a brim at the angle, you know, right behind the head, I'm like, man, this is fire. You know, I'm about to get him with this. You know, so I feel good about it.
There's something to be said about routine too. If you go through routine, you know, check the box, and it doesn't matter what you are, fishing or work or whatever. If you got that routine that builds confidence, I mean, chances are you're gonna have a good day.
Well, right. I had to ask the why, because that's the most important thing. Like, you do what you do, but you do it for a reason, and the reason is what determines whether I adopt something or don't.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm also very aware that there's lots of things I don't know and lots of considerations I haven't applied to something. So by asking your opinion and asking you why you do it, that gives me a better understanding of the positives of doing it this way versus this way. And like, if you don't ask around and pay attention, like, you'll get stuck in a rut. And you know, if you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting the same results for the most part. But so that's why I really emphasize trying to gain knowledge.
And when you bounce something off somebody who has a lot of experience or same experience or whatever, it's like two scientists sharing results. It's not, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just figure out how he got to his conclusion, and then you kind of adapt it to your strategies.
Yeah, like there's zero judgment. I feel like you were backtracking a little bit. It's just the desire for more knowledge, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, like I said, that's just what I've been doing for a long time, and it has dramatically increased my hookup ratio too. Like I'm so confident that if he grabs hold of it and I give him time to actually bury, I'm the most patient person in the world, man. So like, when he grabs that thing and he starts to pull it in, I'll let him sit there and play with it, man, for 5 minutes sometimes. But until he actually commits and actually really the backbone of the rod sets to hook, I don't even mess with it, man. But I know if he grabs it, makes a run, and it pulls back on him, I got him. Like, I feel very confident that he's not going anywhere. So that's just what works best for me. Yeah.
So you running circles or J's?
Circle hook. Took my question. What circle hooks are you using?
So my all-time absolute favorite circle hook of all time is the 9/0 and 10/0 Charlie Brown circle hook. So I'll take the Charlie Brown circle hooks and put an offset in them. However, sometimes those hooks are kind of hard to get, man. I've been recently using the Daiichi offset circle hooks in the 10/0. I really like them. They're pretty good hook. They hook up very well. One of the main things I do not like about the Daiichis is the tip. On some of these hooks, some of these tips are like needle sharp, and then some of these things are kind of like beveled down. Like not as needle like.
What Daiichi? Do you know what Daiichi you're using? What model it is?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I don't know if I have any in here.
It's all right.
I don't remember. I order them by like the 200 or something, but I get them from like some TGI or TTIBlakemore.com.
Yep.
You can get a bunch of them off of there pretty cheap. And like I said, I like them, and like I said, they're good. They hook up. I got very good confidence with them. The tips on them being so easy because they're so needle sharp. So that's
why you buy 200.
That way about 200 of them, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. So they're cool. Like I said, they're good hooks and all, but they ain't just Charlie Brown's the best, in my opinion. Get them from Bottom Dwellers Tackle. Yeah.
Have you played around with the Hooker's Terminal Tackle? They make that Mad Catter that's similar in a lot of ways to the what you're just saying, the Charlie Browns.
Yeah. So I haven't tried those before, and I'm one of them dudes that is. I'm patient, but I'm stubborn as an ox too now. So like I'm one of them guys. I'm set. Like it's working. Tyler, don't change it. Tyler, don't change it. Don't change it, bro. Tyler, why you gonna change it, man? Don't listen. I know he caught 145-pound fish on it, but I still ain't missed one. So don't do it. You know what I mean?
I need to adopt a little bit of that because, dude,
every spring is Spencer's search for the best hook in the world, and he misses about 25% of his fish every spring.
And then I go back to what I was using before.
Yeah, that's right. Man, if you give those Daiichis or the Charlie Browns a hook, man, a try, man, I'm telling you,
But at least I am a firm believer for J's for Flathead.
Yeah,
because our water's so shallow and our rivers are so narrow. They don't run most of the time. At least the big ones.
Yeah, it's slow going, especially daytime fishing. They suck it in, they sit there, and like you'll see the rod get thumped, and then it'll just barely move and just sit there. You can wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then they drop it, or they just sit there. And with a J hook, you can reel down on them. And
yeah.
But back to the Hooker's Terminal Tackle ones, in bodies of water that have blues and flatheads, I've had pretty decent success with those. But as far as the J hooks, I've been using the sickle style, like the Gamakatsu Big River style, and you can get cheapo ones off Amazon.
Yeah, those are good hooks.
They suck for blue cats, but they're awesome for flatheads.
Yeah, there's some really good hooks, man. And I tell you, before, if we want to rewind, before I used to use the Gamakatsu Big Cat circle hooks, and there was nothing you could do to change my mind until They changed my mind. So I had a buddy say, Tyler, give these a try. Give these a try. And I ran out of hooks. I said, well, man, all I got is these hooks that the old dude give me. And I was like, so I said, well, I'll use them, whatever. But I'm ordering me some more now. I'm ordering me some more. And instantly, I mean, it was the first trip I noticed I didn't miss a fish. The hook sets were deep. The barb on the hook was way superior. It was way better. And I've never went back. I've still got 10 packs that I ordered of the Gamakatsu Big Cat Circle in the shop from years ago that I ain't going back. I can't do it.
I get it,
but
man.
On eBay, you could buy a hell of a deal right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Hell yeah. So you use this giant mono. What reels are you packing? Or giant braid, what reels are you using that's going to hold enough line for that thick of mono? Because that's 40-pound, 50-pound mono equivalent.
Yeah, so I'm using the Penn Fathom 20s.
20s.
The 20 level lines, yep. Penn Fathom. I love the Penn Fathoms. I've tried all the pins, Warfares to Squalls to everything, man. The way that the Fathoms are built, the best thing that I can tell you, they got 30 pounds of drag. They're like mini winches, man. And they are so strong. They are so strong.
They have a legit 30 pounds of drag. I've seen it put to work.
Real 30 pounds.
The now that I think about it, what you're using for flatheads is what I took to the Amazon.
Yeah, baby. We in there.
The only difference was I took 130-pound mono and added that as a top shot over the 150-pound braid.
Oh yeah, and like I said, man, I'll be the first to tell anybody, my stuff is overkill. I know it's overkill, but why am I ain't gonna try to go underkill it. You know what I mean? So
no bonus points for landing them on 30-pound tests.
Yeah, it's the same results. It don't matter. I might as well go and make sure you get them.
I like it. I might start adopting a little bit more of that. Might be switching up to go from 80 to 100 because I was thinking about this too, man. Like there's this river down here. I was talking to a guy local who I've gotten to know a little bit, and he's been nice enough to share some stuff with me, which I really appreciate. And he told me a story of a friend of his was fishing this river I'm very interested in. I'm actually going to go there in a couple weeks. And he hooked a flathead that he estimated, and this guy's caught 50s and 60s, and he estimated this one to be between 80 and 120 pounds. Big range.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, with a fish that big that you don't see many of, it's pretty easy to have a big range.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
All I took out of that was he's caught 50s and 60s, and he hooked a fish, and he saw it. He got it to the top. He saw it, and this fish was substantially larger than a 50 or 60. So yeah, give it how much larger? 80 to 120 pounds.
Yeah. Depends on length.
Yeah, he fought it, got it to the boat, and then it made another run and snapped him off. So it's like, if I'm down in a place like that with that kind of potential, do I want to be running 80 and 60?
That's right.
Maybe I go 180.
No, a moment like that in your life, either you're going to fish every day the rest of your life, or you never fish again.
You're 1,000,000% right on that.
You either give it up or you're all in.
One guy, Joel asked, is there a rod that crosses all three species? I mean, if you aim in the middle, it's not going to do any of them amazing. Well, so I'll take that back, because like the Catch the Fever mediums, the Hellcat mediums, they're a little much for channels. They're still okay for channels, but
they take the fun out of it.
They're not underkill for big fish. I mean, there's been 2 blues over 80 that I reeled in, and a client reeled in on those. And then that 71 and another 70 last week, flatheads over 50 pounds, all on those. And they got plenty of backbone to handle any of that. So, and if you're using no stretch braid, you need some type of forgiveness.
Sure. Yeah. Or your pull hooks.
Yeah. Or you pull hooks. Cause if you have a broomstick with braid, like the only forgiveness is the reel. And sometimes that isn't as smooth, it's not as smooth as the bend of a fishing rod. So yeah, you'll pop hooks. Let's do stuff like that.
Sure will.
So what I'm hearing is mono's better. That's what I heard out.
Oh, that reminds me. So I converted one other person to the dark side. Micah texted me and said he's a mono guy, and I quickly replied to tell him that he is a quicker learner than Ryan, and then screenshot that and sent that to Ryan just so he could look at it.
I will switch to braid if mono ever causes me an issue. My only downfall with mono is my casting length. I can't cast near as far as you can, but until it fails me, I'm on the ship.
Well, who cares? You have to cast like 30 feet in Iowa.
Right. Exactly.
If I have a cast bar, I set up in the wrong spot.
my only bitch about mono is it stretches 30%. So if you move, like everyone talks about controlling the fish, you need a fit rod with backbone, whatever. If you're using mono and you have 21 feet of line out and you have to pull almost 10 feet of stretch out of it before you move the fish an inch if it's a big fish.
That's where the straight heat comes from.
That's right.
The heat, baby.
Cross his eyes.
I need to restock the straight heat stickers. We need to get those moving again.
Just funny.
I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah.
All right, so we're about to the end. This is the last cast time, which I don't know if you've ever watched these, Tyler, but this is basically your opportunity to say whatever the hell you want before you're done. It's like your last cast. So it could be one sentence. It could be 100 sentences. You know, it could be another hour. It's like whatever you want to do, but it's the last chance you get to talk about whatever you want to get to talk about.
Yeah, sure. So I've got a couple questions, Spencer, for you actually. And, you know, one of the things, you know, you heard me mention about, you know, tournament fishing and being competitive and yada, yada. But I've also said in that statement that's kind of died down a little bit, man. And one of the reasons it's kind of died down is I have hit like maybe a new era or a new maybe mindset or something, but I have transitioned over to still tournament fish. I still do my thing, but really trying to focus heavy on social media, growing a following, growing a presence, making YouTube videos. And that's one of my questions for you. For somebody like me on YouTube, what kind of advice could you give somebody like me that's got a newer YouTube channel that's like really just getting started? Like, what are you saying? If you're able to now, I mean, I respect you. You got over 170,000 subscribers and, you know, you might have your secrets and stuff like that. But for me or for anybody else that's watching that has maybe a dream of being a content creator or anything, it's YouTube, I'm finding, is it's very challenging. It's tough. It's something that's going to take years to accomplish, but it can be done. But what kind of advice could you give somebody like me or anybody else that's listening if they're trying to get into making fishing content or whatever content it is they're interested in?
I'm going to interrupt real quick. First of all, we've been on here for an hour and 17 minutes, and you haven't mentioned your face or your YouTube name yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got to take advantage of the situations that you got and put it out there.
That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah, no, well, short. You know, I didn't want to, you know, ever do anything you weren't supposed to.
No, it's your world.
You're being way too damn polite.
Is that too polite? Yeah, that's one of my bad traits.
Sell your channel quick.
Yeah, man. So I started a brand over 2 years ago on TikTok called For Real Fishing. And on TikTok, it kind of led to the way For Real Fishing started is I remember a live stream. I was on the Cape Fear River in Fayetteville, and we were talking, and some of the people in the live chat, they were like, Tyler, you know, you should start a brand. And I'm like, yeah, what kind of brand? You know, what are you talking about? What's the deal? And they were like, well, why don't you call it For Real Fishing? I'm like, well, why would we call it For Real Fishing? They said, because you say for real a lot. And I started thinking, I said, let's do it, man. It's great. Let's do it. Yeah, that's perfect. So we started For Real Fishing, man, and you know, over time built a website and started. We've built a team now. We have 16 awesome affiliates, and we've grown a whole lot. We've actually shipped over 43 states now. So the brand's growing very good. We set up a booth at the Catfish Conference. I was very blessed to see how much support we had there and all the people and coming up and talking to people nonstop. And, one of the most encouraging things, a couple things happened is we got the um, Golden Whisker Award for Best New Talent for our YouTube channel for content we make. So that really gave me a lot of motivation and a lot of people coming up saying, man, Tyler, love the content. You're doing so good. Keep it up, yada, yada. And our whole team is involved with content and sharing, knowledge and just this, that, and the other. So, speaking of our YouTube, our channel on YouTube is For Real Fishing. So if there's anybody, man, that's into catfishing would like to see some content from me or some of our affiliates or team, we post a lot of shorts and long form videos too. Some of them's funny, some of them's informational, some of them's getting into like just, knot tying, how to tie knots, how to, what's our go-to, fishing this or that, or whatever the case may be. So I'd love your support. Consider subscribing, leave some comments on the video. Would really love that opportunity to engage with you. But yeah, we're on Facebook. For Real Fishing's on Facebook. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and that's pretty much it. And YouTube, of course. And, I've got my personal pages too. It's just Tyler Barnes on Facebook, on Instagram, and it's Tyler Barnes Catfishing on TikTok. So, with TikTok, that used to be my pride and joy, man. And that's where For Real Fishing started. And we've built a following there of just so many amazing people that I'm trying not to like give up TikTok, but man, you get saturated, right? So you got, I still work, my full-time job as an insurance agent, but at the same time, you try to focus on that. You try to focus on making content. You try to do tournament fishing. You try to run For Real Fishing. You try to ship packages. You reply to message. You become so absorbed. Man, that you ain't but one person. And that's another thing that I'm so grateful for our team. Like I said, we got 16 guys and girls on the team that are doing a fantastic job helping out, spreading the word, sharing content, this, that, and the other. And I couldn't be more grateful for them than I am now. And, just like them coming to the Catfish Conference on their own dime, on their own time to make this dream become a reality, not for Tyler, but for the fishing community and for all of us. So super thankful for them. But, with TikTok is in an era right now to where it was the hottest thing around. You go live, you're interacting with so many people, and that's where it started for me. And there's so many people that I feel are dependent on me because I get messages, Tyler, where you been, where you at? You need to, go fishing, and it's so tough. So, TikTok has made some changes, man. It's trying to go away, it's trying to stay. We all know it's doing its own thing. So what I have been trying to push a lot on is investing time on YouTube, because YouTube's here to stay, right? So it's not going anywhere. It's here. The videos are there when you put them out. I haven't tried live streaming on YouTube yet. So I am excited to try that to see how that goes. But, when you go TikTok live, that's great. It's real time, but then it's gone. I can make videos on YouTube and it's here to stay. And, people that find me or For Real Fishing a year from now, they can go watch those videos where they couldn't those lives. So I've got to be kind of realistic and encourage my followers and stuff to kind of try to transition over a little bit. Try to, I don't want people to think I've abandoned them, but it's and Spencer and both y'all know you ain't but one person, man. You can't do but so much in a day with so many social media platforms. Very tough. It's very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to prioritize for sure.
It is. It is. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about the brand and how it started, and that's where we're at, man. It's one of those phases to where what's the best move? What's the route to go? You've got an awesome team behind you, and we're all ready to make anything happen. But what is the best move? We're also trying to get into some retail stores. So if there's any bait and tackle shops in here that is interested in carrying any of our 4-reel fishing products, would love to talk with you. Our website is www.4reelfishing.com. We don't only have apparel, we have other fishing products as well. So I'd love to speak with you if that's ever an opportunity. But yeah, that's kind of where we're standing, standing at, Spencer, is kind of, seeing where it goes, man. But I really think YouTube could be the long-term answer for the brand. I really do.
I got you. Well, I mean, I don't know about all that. Like, TikTok is under attack all the time, so pretty much all of them are going to be more stable than TikTok. But
absolutely, yeah. Tell me about it.
But just like that's where you got to start. That's where he's feeling comfortable. It's hard to move away from something.
Mm-hmm. It is, man. It is.
Well, I guess the big thing for YouTube is, number one, make it fun. And if you make it fun, that'll make it consistent. And if you're consistent, you work on making each episode just a little bit better than the one before that. Over time, you're just going to improve. And as long as you make it fun, enjoyable, something you want to do, you're going to keep doing it. And it's like, success is inevitable. But when success might be in a year, success might be in a decade, but if you have fun and keep it consistent, you're going to be successful. The end.
Was there a point that you went from this to, okay, boom, there it is, and we're killing it? Like, was there a certain amount of subscribers, or was there a certain amount of time put in, number of videos before it, or has it always been just a steady uphill climb for you?
No, there was a switch. Like, and it's kind of funny how it's applied to everything in my life, like wrestling. Maybe. There was a point when I started wrestling where I just sucked, and then suddenly I sucked less.
Yeah, so just a little less than that day. Yeah, that's good.
But you run into those things. So you start posting videos and you're like, this one did good. And then, or this one did really bad, this one did bad, but this one did good. So what was the difference? And you can't say anything that applies to everybody, because people subscribe to YouTube channels people subscribe to your YouTube channel for different reasons than they subscribe to mine or anybody else's. So what works for me might work for you, but it might not, or what didn't work for me might be the best thing you ever did. But you got to figure out that. And I just kind of approach it like fishing. Like, you can pattern social media just like you can pattern a fish.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And regionally, it's going to be different. Like, some regions, blue cat's going to be way better. Channel cat's going to be way better.
Sure.
It just, what they're chasing is what they want to watch.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, man, if you're having a good time, chipping away at it.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing, like, if I'm sure you're like me and everybody else who's taking the time to watch this and listen to this, like, you fight for your opportunity to go fishing because you love it.
Absolutely.
Well, fight for your opportunity to make a video because you enjoy making the videos.
Yeah, there's a million other things we could do besides go hit the river.
Yes.
We choose to do that.
Like that's sleep.
Right. I'd sleep on my boat just as good as I'd sleep in the bed.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is so funny. How valuable is the thumbnail and title of the video?
It falls back, like how important it is falls back to you. So I'll think of it a great example. For me, it's huge. The title and thumbnail's huge. But then you look at like Catfish Dave, and I'll throw him out there. He could take a picture of anything and slap it on there, and his videos are going to do well.
It's crazy.
Because the people who subscribe to him really get a kick out of him. Or another one. What's that?
He created a cult.
And it's treating him really good,
Sure, absolutely.
Another one would be Andrew Flair, like a buddy of mine who's from that. Well, Josh, me and him joke around a little bit. Like, he could literally take a thumbnail of him. Well, I don't know if we can say what we said, but
we'll paraphrase.
pooping in the yard, and there'd be 300,000 people who would watch it because it's Andrew Flair.
Yeah.
So like people probably subscribe to my channel just to see what I do. Some people probably get a kick out of me and appreciate me, but a large percentage of people they don't care so much about me. They just care about what I'm doing.
Sure.
So I try to cater to that, but then you get guys like Catfish Dave, who there's so many people that think he's a character and enjoy listening to him, where he can do about anything, and there's going to be a bunch of people watching him.
That's right.
so it kind of goes back to you, man. Like self-awareness is the number one thing, I'd say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, we're going to keep chipping away at it, man. And my rhythm right now is I'm trying my best to put out 2 long form videos a week, and I'm looking at the analytics and stuff, and when the viewers are most active or watching the channel stuff, just learning, because man, YouTube has so many tools, man. There's just so many things, and it's a lot to learn, and why this one did a little bit better than that one, and with Facebook and stuff, I've learned it, I would like to say, pretty well, as far as like the followers and stuff. There's like certain videos that is just going to do good when you do it, but with YouTube, I'm still not sure what that secret sauce is, or that recipe, but I think it may be over time, and watching everything closely, it might reveal something to me. What works for me, like you said, it might not work for everybody, but it might work for Tyler.
That's the only thing that matters.
That's it, baby. It's like the 150-pound Braid. I'm the only guy that is getting it done.
Right. 1,000,000%, man. 1,000,000%.
That's funny.
What else you got, Tyler?
Man, no, that's fantastic, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on. I've had a blast. Anytime that y'all want to do it again, let me know. It's been a joy, and hope to see you guys soon, and maybe we can go fishing together sometime. That'd be a blast.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate to swing down to your neck of the woods and have some fun.
We can do it, man. That'd be great.
There's a good chance I will be around in the fall.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
I don't know exactly when in the fall, but I'm going to make a point to set a pretty good chunk of time to go fishing in a lot of situations with a lot of people. And I'm definitely going to want to spend some time on some skinny water chasing flatheads. So,
well, you may get like a 17-hour notice, because that's how long it takes to go from here to there.
Right.
yeah. But I tell you what, well, Bobby Wynn is like my manager. So like, you got to go through Bobby, man, because he's going to tell me, Tyler, you got to do this.
We're going to be on a 3-week delay. Nope, we can't see you for 3 weeks.
Done. Okay, Bobby. Whatever Bobby says is gold. Okay, Bobby, we'll do it. Whatever you say, man. I got you.
As long as we're not dependent on Bobby catching shad, we can probably make it happen.
Listen, man. Look, Bobby is so fun. Like I'll sit here from the bank and look, and there'll be like a bajillion shad right there, and he's like, "No, Tyler, I've got to get naked, get in the river, swim to the other side, and take a 40-foot cast net and throw it all around and just sling it." And I'm like, "But Bobby, they're right there, bro. They're right there.
Water looks like it's raining."
And he's like, "Nah, Tyler." And he's like, "Nah, watch this." And he's swimming across. I'm like, "What is going on, bro?" Or it's either that, and he comes back with like 300 quart cooler full of shad, or nothing. It ain't gonna be no in between now. I'm telling you.
He talked this big shad game, and then I came over there like a few weeks ago, and it's like, "Bobby, we need bait." And he's like, "I got you," and he did not got me.
He did not got us. Man, I know
that's not got us.
That is so funny.
I'm gonna take this clip and cut it out and send it to him.
Yeah, send it to him. That is hilarious. I'm surprised he ain't watching. He ought to be here.
He's in bed.
He probably is in bed.
He could be, yeah. Well, guys, it's been a good time, man. Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Tyler. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got, bud?
Well, if you see me looking left, there is a Wrestle Night of America on. Flow Wrestling has a freestyle.
Wait, is Lee wrestling yet?
No, it's not on yet, but there are some matches going on. But it's pretty much a professional freestyle tournament. Like they've got guys from all over the world came to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and they are running matches for the next probably hour yet. So it's for the wrestling world, it's huge because it's the first time that, you know, guys get an extra paycheck where they don't have to go to the world championships or, you know, it's just kind of a night to showcase wrestling, which is awesome.
Agreed. And there's some big matches.
I mean,
big high school matches too.
Yeah, the high school are done and now they're started freestyle, but like the main event is Spencer Lee, one of the top 57 kilogram wrestlers in the world, against the world gold medalist at 65 kilograms. So you got the best of the world at two weights going against each other.
And Greene County got their first state champ in, it hasn't been that long, I guess.
In 2 years?
Yeah.
Greene County has had 6 state titles in the last 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
There was a pretty good drought before that.
Yes.
But recently speaking,
since 94.
But the Rams have been kicking some ass the last few years.
They qualified 6th, placed 2, but everybody except one won at least 2 matches.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
So everyone's competitive, and you got somebody who was the most competitive.
Yes.
And you couldn't, old Brent Denhart, you couldn't, he's a kid who's really easy to cheer for.
Yes. And you could never bet against him because since he was 3 years old, he's been winning state titles.
Right.
Until he got hurt and then had to work his way back. And nothing's more awesome than a guy that was on top, got kicked in the dirt through injuries, and built his way back up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just a stud.
Nobody knows who we're talking about on here probably, but just know that a great kid did some great things and came through some adversity.
And finally got rewarded for all of his hard work.
Yep. The ultimate reward for him too. Well, I'll say thank you, Tyler. Thanks, Ryan. And thanks everybody for taking the time to listen to us blabber, run our mouths, and shoot the breeze about stuff that we enjoy talking about. But it's a good time. Hopefully you had a good time. And
absolutely.
Same time next week, same place. I have no idea who's going to be on here, but I just know that we're going to be enjoying ourselves. And I will have probably dried out a little bit between now and then. So I'll be I'll be off the bubblies by then.
That's right.
The other night, my nephew Johnny came over and I drank till 4 a.m. And I couldn't tell you how many years it's been since I drank till 4 a.m. But there's a reason I haven't done that.
Understood. All right, boys. You have a good night. We'll see everybody.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
Take care.